This week's episode of The Totally Rad Show is brought to you by Squarespace,
GoDaddy.com,
and Netflix.
This is where it's gonna be when it comes on.
Can you make it bigger?
Sure.
How do you make it come on?
Like this?
I didn't know it could get so big.
Me neither.
Three rad dudes with nothing better to do get abducted by the crew of the Starship Alpha 2. They're from the planet Q, which, due to a space-time loop, is stuck in 82 and must be rescued. They need our heroes to discuss the latest news and give their reviews of games and movies too. Sure hope you're not confused. We swear this is all true, not just the premise too. The Totally Rad Show.
Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad, Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad, Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad, Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad Show.
Hey everybody, welcome to The Totally Rad Show, episode number 72. I'm Alex Oliver.
I'm Jeff Canada.
I'm Dan Trachtenberg.
The Totally Rad Show's weekly dose of all things rad. We stumble our ass back up to Los Angeles from San Diego and relax. Then bring you what's happening this week.
It kind of feels nice to be back in the garage a little bit.
A little bit. A
It
little
feels
bit.
like home.
I had so much fun. I missed Comic-Con. I actually was twittering about that. I was like, I just was sitting there and like, I wish I was at Comic-Con on the show floor meeting all the fans.
Yeah, it was
and
awesome.
we
Thanks
didn't
everybody who
buy
came.
anything. Yeah, we
It was
had a
incredible.
great time.
Incredible.
Also, the iFanboy guys were there.
We hung out with them a lot. Really fun.
Yeah, and so they have a bunch of Comic-Con stuff in their next two episodes. They did like a big thing with Kirkman.
Yeah, they have a whole episode with Robert Kirkman.
I know.
Who's the Walking Dead guy.
Yeah,
and
so check
awesome.
it out. Check out iFanboy.com. But we also want to thank Matt Sherman. Hello,
Very
Sherman.
cool, sort of mummy-esque. I like this side is kind of like turning into dust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did sound effects for it.
It's even better when there are sound effects for the thing. Well, I'm excited to be back doing a normal show, but I can't wait to do our next live show, I have to say.
I know.
It was so much
can't
fun.
wait.
Thank you all for coming out. It was a huge success. I mean, we can
Blown away.
easily say that, Jeff and I got there a little early. Wait, who the hell did I come up with? Was it with you? You weren't. Who came up?
You went up without
Jeff.
us. Me and Jeff went
Down.
Down?
Also. but-
Down.
Yeah.
We met. The two of you guys were there when we were.
What's your story? And we'll tell you who was there.
We went in and saw conference room
Oh,
7AB.
7AB.
Oh, yeah,
that
we
was
were all
you and
there.
I.
That was all of us.
Oh, that was all of us.
I just couldn't remember, but for some reason Dan isn't in this story, and he was there.
It's like a dream.
It is. It's like
yeah.
I remember Dan being there, but I think I was just emotionally attached to Dan. But we walked in that room and we were scared out of our gourd that we weren't going to be able to fill it.
Yeah, it was big.
And we've heard that people were being turned away even hours before the show because the line was too long.
And we have more Comic-Con fun in this episode. So
Correct.
the stuff we couldn't squish into last episode, we're going to put into this episode.
Yeah, we have the Q&A segment.
Q&A.
Yeah,
So
which is
in lieu of
super
an
fun.
email this week, you're gonna have a ton of. It's like a forums.
It is
basically
like
because people from the
It's
forums were
forums.
there.
Yeah, right.
So
And we're also going to announce the winner of the T-shirt contest finally.
So tune in at the end of this episode for that awesome announcement.
Yes. Now let's get into the movies.
this week in movies, we're talking about The Mummy, Tomb of the
Dragon Emperor.
Dragon Emperor. Thank you. It is the third installment in the Mummy franchise.
Theoretically fourth, but Scorpion King.
Well, I don't think you count spin-offs, but
Franchise.
Yeah, that's what you said. Franchise.
franchise.
You didn't say
maybe.
movie.
Interesting.
Series would be
It's
different.
the only reason
topic
why I
for-
brought it up. It's the only reason why I brought it up.
Okay,
It's a
you're right.
franchise.
Franchise. Right. So it's the McDowells of Square Making is the McDowells of the McDonald's franchise. No, it's a horrible joke.
That was
Horrible.
horrible.
Coming to America, horrible joke.
No.
Okay.
Didn't even make it.
So Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. It stars Jet Li as the Dragon Emperor. He plays the Mummy. Brendan Fraser is back. Maria Bello replaces Rachel.
Oh, that was Maria Bello.
Weiss.
Wow.
Vice.
Rice.
And they have a grown-up son
Wise.
this time, and they basically unlock people accidentally unlock the tomb of the Dragon Emperor, and now our fair-weathered adventurers have to fight to.
Can I ask you a question? Having not seen the last
Yes,
one,
I like you saying that.
interesting
yes.
that you said grown-up son. Was there a child son? before?
Child
Yeah.
son in the second.
So this
one.
is 30 years later.
I know. It's crazy. This is also a new director. The first two were directed by Steven Sommers, who, sort of is of that Spielberg, Zemeckis school of filmmaking. And now we have Rob Cohen, who his previous films were Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, which I loved.
Yeah, and we're currently being attacked.
There's a lot
by
of weed
whackers.
whacking happening.
The garage.
He then,
What did I say about Happy being back?
he then went on to make Dragonheart, and then Fast and the Furious, and Triple X, and started making these
Crazy action
MTV
movies.
action
Yeah.
movies. So that's the flick. What did you think? You're famous for abhorring the first 15 minutes of the first Mummy and walking
this is
out.
true.
But you didn't see the second one. What did you think of this
Yes.
third one?
In a summer where we have.
This is going
In
in
the
a bad
summer,
direction.
where
Stay with me.
Let's compare it to Dark Knight. Here we go.
In a summer where we have an Indiana Jones movie where the sort of schlocky edition of a son and relative silliness of the plot is being compared to the first Mummy, kudos to the Mummy team for coming out with a movie that makes Indiana Jones look even better. It's like they wanted to show everyone, look, we can do an even worse version of the schlocky son and cheesy, pointless action movie. I was falling asleep during this. There's gonna be plenty of people who enjoy it. It's the thing about it, it's not a bad movie. It's just so paint by numbers, so banal and just pointless. There's no reason to go see it. I mean, there's nice effects and stuff blows up. I'm very disappointed in Maria Bello, who I'm a huge fan of, for even taking this role. Like, why?
Well, I'll tell you why. The last Mummy's made a crap ton of money.
Moolah.
A moolah of mummy law, or mumra. Well, I'm gonna have to disagree with you.
Really?
I think that Indiana Jones still was very bad.
Yeah.
This movie doesn't make me feel any different about how bad Indiana Jones was. That said, this movie is also bad. Jesus, really? There's now they're landing on the roof, the planes of
This
lawnmowers.
is not an audio show. We were enjoying
Yeah,
it.
Yes.
yeah. So, the movie was really bad. I mean, there were moments of this is a cool concept, I guess. I don't even know, turns into a dragon. I was like, oh, all right. Yetis were interesting, but man, every line was bad. I agree, Maria Bello. I didn't even realize I, as a fan of Maria Bello, I didn't even realize it was her. I thought it was just, this is some first starting actress that you can pay to play a Rachel Weisz character, The only intelligent thing that I thought they did was that she actually made a kind of joke about the fact that it wasn't Rachel Weisz, which
Yeah.
I thought was
I
smart.
picked up on that.
The very
Yeah, the very
first
first
line,
time
she's
she-
like, I can honestly say I'm a different
I'm a
person.
different person.
Right.
But the whole movie is just wah, wah. The kid is horrible. Not
He's
even
an
a kid.
adult.
I know, he's
He
Brendan
looks like
Fraser's
Bre-
age.
He can
He's
play
horrible.
Brendan Fraser's
Yeah.
father, or
He's
Brendan
not-
Fraser can play
He's not good. And
You know, it's like
at the first thing they have the scene,
funny.
which really, for me, fit the tone of this movie perfectly, which was they have clearly, you know, son, other white guy, and red shirts. They die because that's what red shirts are there to do. And the son is somehow affected emotionally by this. And it's like, that to me just nails what's wrong with this movie. It's like, that you wouldn't be. I mean, you're not going to be like, no, you're not going to be like, oh, great, I'm glad that that guy I hired yesterday died, but you wouldn't be like, no, and have to be consoled, and I'm going to go risk my life. I mean, it's like,
I mean,
in that
logic?
kind of movie, you don't do that. In that kind of movie, you're like, oh, it's too bad Jip didn't make it, but here we are. You know what I mean? Like, it just, that to me proved it was just really bad.
Thin ice.
So I basically agree with you guys. I don't know how I feel about that, about Chip, but I agree with what you guys are saying.
When you
before.
guys see the scene, you'll
It's
understand
terrible.
what I mean.
It's totally terrible. It did not make Indiana Jones look better by any stretch of the means. In fact,
I know.
I think you guys are disliking Indiana Jones more now than when you did.
that's true.
I agree.
Yeah, we never said that. We've been talking about how
yeah.
the farther away from Indiana Jones we've come, the more we don't like it. It
the
grows.
madder I get
it
when
grows
I think of
worse.
them swinging with CG chimps.
Well, yes. I'm more mad not at Indiana Jones for the CG-ness. I'm more mad the more I go away from it.
No,
That it's
I'm mad
so
that
poorly.
he was swinging with
I know.
monkeys,
Right.
like Tarzan.
I'm mad that movie
Spoiler.
was not better written. That there wasn't cooler escapes and drama and
Well, let's talk about the
peril.
movie. Let's talk
And
about
this
the movie.
movie actually does have that. I didn't enjoy it, but it actually does pay lip service to what the genre needs to have happen.
So what's wrong with it then?
Well, none of it's good. But the problem with it is that it does everything that the first Mummy avoided doing, and thus making it a good action film, adventure movie. One of the best. This movie, yeah, I mean the first Mummy is. The
Sorry,
first, well,
the
you've
spit
never
take.
seen it, so drink after you've seen it, and we'll see what happens.
yeah.
Maybe it'll be Kool-Aid. The first Mummy is so well plotted, and this Mummy is just weakly constructed bridges between set pieces.
You mean rope bridges?
Rope bridges that fall.
Jeff Bridges?
Not Jeff
that's
Bridges
Tron
doing yoga and Tron too. And it's just horrible. So I mean, you know, it is kind of harmless. Like, it started out sort of harmless. I was like, you know, at least this movie has spirit that I
Yeah.
like. But then, and I was like, it's not insulting me. And then as it went on, I was like, no, it's insulting me.
Yeah.
In other news. One of my favorite movies of all time came out a couple of years ago from a bright new young director, Ryan Johnson, called Brick. And if you haven't seen that, I'll tell you about it in Netflix. I'll tell you to rent it. But he's finally made his second movie. It's called The Brothers Bloom. We'll play the trailer now. It stars Mark Ruffalo and Adrian Brody and
Rachel Weisz.
and Rachel Weisz. Yeah.
That's what she was doing.
It's a con. You know, if Brick was what he did to Brick was film noir, and what he's doing now is for the Con movie. It sort of looks like a.
It's Wes Anderson makes a con movie.
Well, it's Ryan Johnson makes a con movie, but it's like Dirty Rotten Scoundrels mixed with Ocean's 11 kind of thing.
Yeah, more Ocean's 11 than Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
I just think
It looks like
plot-wise.
it does look like there's a pinch of Darjeeling Limited in there also. I mean, that may be the Adrian Brody effect, but
Yeah. But an old
it's got
steamer ship, so it's not
and the
current.
brothers thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, what did you think of?
Oh, I am so on board for this. I really liked Brick a lot.
You're on the Darjeeling Limited.
I'm on. I threw my luggage back and I leapt on.
You literally left your baggage behind you.
Yes.
What a great metaphor that wasn't.
Having said that,
Yeah.
I hate this trailer because it steps you through the plot and tells you their plan and their con. I'm hoping there are a lot of things that are unexpected, but halfway through the trailer, I was like, I don't want to watch this anymore. They're really telling me point by point what happens, how their relationships start, and where they go, which is what I hate about trailers. But maybe that's because I'm already into this movie, and all I need to know is like the bare minimum, and I'm gonna go see it.
Right.
I'm very excited.
Less excited. And maybe it's because it did remind me of the Darjeeling Limited, which I didn't like. So that would make me not want to see another movie that was like a movie that I didn't like. But I like Adrian. Adrian Brody's great. Rachel Weisz is. I actually really enjoy Rachel Weisz.
Mark Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo is
Awesome.
amazing, dude. Brain tumor comes back from brain tumor. What? You knew about that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
Amazing.
about that. He had
Oh
a brain
yeah,
tumor?
there was a whole period he literally was like diagnosed with a brain tumor shortly after one of his films. I can't remember what
How
it was.
large is your lawn?
I know.
Steve?
So he had brain surgery to remove a brain tumor, and now he's like back, and now he's like, hey,
Wow.
skin off the back. You know what I mean? Like,
Wow.
duck off water or water off duck's back. Anyway, but yeah, I'd say 75% excited to see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I never saw Brick, which it just is sort of like one of those things that it just happened that I never
Right.
saw it. You know what I mean?
It's awesome.
I didn't actively not see it.
Right.
It just never happened.
I mean,
Yeah.
it goes without saying that I'm in. The trailer does push the Ocean's 11-y vibe. I hope that that's a marketing thing. But the plot, I mean,
Why?
it's a con movie.
Why do you have that's a marketing thing?
Because
You don't want that?
I mean, I don't want his versions of Ocean's 11. I want his con movie, and they are in the same genre, so that I feel like that's okay. But I just hope that it's not, you know. I mean, all those they're playing with the same tropes. They're playing with the zoominess and that, you know. So the 70s vibe. I also want to mention. It's just almost just a mention, but I am curious what you guys think. We are finally getting, we can pop the trailer on real quickly right now. Disney is making another 2D film. I think we've even talked on the show about hoping that
They're
wouldn't
putting
abandon
2D
that.
characters in a computer-generated world, clearly.
Well, I bet it's all 2D
it's
animation now.
hand animated,
Yeah,
though. That's
it's
the
cell,
difference.
it's cell animation. It's The Princess and the Frog. I assume this is.
Disney.
Yeah, no. With the fairy tale,
Oh, yeah, the-
Frog Prince, right?
Yeah.
I assume
Yeah.
that that's what this is.
I think it's a
Spin on that.
because it's really a teaser. It's not even really
Yes,
a trailer. It's
correct.
like clearly that's not even going to be in the movie.
Yeah.
But she references the fairy tale, so it's clearly not the fairy tale. It's probably like this postmodern kind of
Right.
self-aware version of it.
Are you guys soaked on? I nothing in the trailer was funny or anything.
That
but
was
I just
actually the exact opposite of what the trailer was to me. It was
Not funny.
absolutely not funny. I'm
Yeah.
so not looking forward to seeing this, and I'm disappointed because I will see it because I'd see all Disney movies because that's like, dude, Lion King, Aladdin, that's like my childhood.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm really excited, and I've heard about this for a long time, and I was very excited. I mean,
Did you think the trailer was funny? I mean, was there anything in the trailer?
no, but
that
I
made you-
liked what it was. I liked that it was this little moment. I loved the Firefly character that came in. I love the sort of
the
Creole-ness
flying Aunt Jemima
about
character.
it. Well, no,
It
I mean,
was
it's set
very,
in New
like-
Orleans, and it's
yeah.
like that Creole. I love that. I twittered this to you, and you probably saw that. I'm a little disappointed that it looks like the lead princess has a tan rather than is actually black. I mean,
I don't know
their
if
whole
I read it that way, but
maybe
yeah.
it just didn't look like they actually had the guts to make
Have
her
an
look
American lead
dark.
character.
Yeah, which
We
is
don't
sad.
even know that she is African
Oh, we do.
American.
That's the
Yeah,
that,
I mean-
for 2 years
Oh.
they've been saying
Oh.
our next princess is going to be black, and it's the first time Disney has ever done that,
Oh.
which I think is awesome.
Wow.
But I wish they had the guts to
I was gonna
actually
say
make her
she did
look
not
black.
look African American to me.
I
That's-
didn't,
If I hadn't known
Yeah.
that that was a thing,
I didn't know
just
either.
assumed it was a white chick.
I didn't know either, but I assumed so.
Interesting.
A house divided.
What do you think?
A house divided.
Yeah, I think both. Like nothing was funny, but I want to see it for nostalgia reasons. But even though nothing was funny in it, it's a princess kissing the frog, but not wanting to kiss it, and she's deciding where to kiss it. And like I like that idea. I just love the Disneyness about it, the old school Disneyness about it.
Yes, I agree.
It's too bad the locusts have been flying in and out of that.
Anyway, that's movies this week.
Poundsies.
All right, here we go. So what's your question?
Hey, it's Graham Hancock from Tupelo, Mississippi. Been watching the Totally Rad Show, Indignation, for years.
Nice.
Closer to the mic a little bit, maybe.
Love it. There you go.
Awesome.
Good.
Don't pressure him, Dan.
No pressure. No pressure.
I just wanted to know, how did the Totally Rad Show come to be? Like, what was the conversation that...
Yeah, we talked over each other. I just rolled a 20, and what's your die roll?
I said, mine says TRS. What does that mean?
we were talking over each other a lot
Yeah.
in the conversation.
So,
Get in line.
love it. So yeah, basically, I've been doing a Dignation with Kevin, and for me it was always great. Like I love doing Dignation with Kevin. He and I, when we talk tech, it's like great. Kevin doesn't like movies or video games per se or TV shows or comic. I mean, like I just felt like I was always talking about technology, and I didn't have that outlet for this other side of me that was so great. And it was always sort of funny to me when I'd be like, oh, dude, Kevin, I just got this great new movie, and I just saw it. And he's like, oh yeah, I sort of heard something about it. So and then I met Jeff and Dan, and it was like, we got to do something together. I mean, this is sort of stupid.
Yeah, we met playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Sure.
Honestly.
D&D.
No lie. It is probably the perfect way for us to have met.
Yeah.
Because it is basically the backbone of our show in a lot of ways, is that sort of party mechanic. We mustered.
Hello.
And we should thank.
I catch-upped.
Is Mike
We
Rizzo
should thank
here?
Mike Rizzo.
Dude, is
here.
Mike Rizzo here? Riz, stand up.
That's our Dungeon
Master. The Dungeon Master, Mike Rizzo, that got us together for the first time.
Exactly.
Amazing.
So we met playing Dungeons and Dragons and decided that it would be awesome to. We sort of just had these conversations anyway, and we thought, hey, why not? Maybe there'll be more people who would want to join in on the conversation with us.
Yeah, and we're super excited how it turned out.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta go.
You just,
Thanks for coming.
just
Oh
take
my
one.
God, I love it.
Oh, Alex. Yeah, I know why you love it.
Scarlett?
Alex is the coolest.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Scarlett.
That's nice.
Appreciate it.
Show it.
This is Totally Rad Show.
Thank you.
And in order of importance, Alex,
Anakin's right over there.
love it. Anakin single. Thank you, Scarlett.
Thank you, Scarlett.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
Thanks, dude.
Next up.
Hey guys, Jake Sigafus from Ohio, and I got two quick things. First of all, Ohio? First of all, I want to congratulate you guys on doing the best damn show in this medium.
Thank
Love
you.
it. Dog
Thank you. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
My second thing is I'm actually here on a field study
Ooh.
about communications, and my topic is the internet as a free medium and providing that free medium to people just out of the blue for no real reason. And I want to ask what you guys kind of thought about the fact that you guys are providing this for free online. We don't have to pay anything.
Wait, it's free?
What? How do I own a BMW?
I ask myself that every day.
All you have to do, guys,
From the back seat.
move into your girlfriend's house with her parents buying it. It's the easiest. You're just like, I'll live with you and I'll buy a Beamer. Sorry, go ahead. So, free medium.
Free medium, and you guys are doing this for free, and you're providing this to everybody, and the fan response is so strong, and they love you so much that they're giving you Wii's and PSPs, and
Wait, they're giving us weed?
I know.
Yes. Actually, you should have been to my Amsterdam show. That does happen.
It's weird that you were the guy that said that.
It is weird.
but Wii's, and they're taking you to London, and okay. But how does that feel to be this almost a pioneer in this medium that's brand new, and I think going to eventually be a major part of the Comic-Con experience?
Dude,
Feels good.
No, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's sort of mind-boggling. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, it's really one of those things that, when we started actually Dignation, even before the Totally Rad show, and there were guys like Dr. Tiki over there. Like, there was maybe 5 of us that were doing stuff on the web that people started watching, and it was like, it just kind of snowballed. I mean, we've been doing this for 3 years now, and I mean, every day that stuff happens, whenever we wait, I mean, like getting something like this, like you can't imagine what it's like. I mean, it is literally baffling.
And the thing that's different, I think, about new media is that it really does. I mean, you talk about getting to go to London and stuff because of a fan. Honestly, we wouldn't. I mean, Alex was going anyway, but the rest of us wouldn't have been able to go. Peter Minton, FTW. And it really feels like we're part of a community. It feels like we're having this conversation with everybody. One of the things I like most about this show is the back and forth that we get. Like right now, for instance,
Literally.
and that people feel like they're hanging out with us, and we feel like we're hanging out with them. And I think that's the thing about our show that we always wanted to find.
Yeah.
We only made this show, I think, because we wished it already existed. We wanted a show that got as excited about stuff as we did. And I think a lot of the shows that are about this kind of thing almost detach themselves from it and look down on it a little bit. And we want to be the show that goes to Star Wars convention and dresses up and
Epic.
doesn't make fun of it.
George
It's
Lucas.
like, it's fun.
Should have won the pageant, by the way.
So it's just about finding like-minded people, and that is what's so awesome.
Okay, one more thing real quick. I had a presentation on Sunday at the Academic.
Oh, nice.
I haven't done any research whatsoever, so if you guys want to give me a hand and just come grab me after the show, because I really don't want to do the work, so if you can just come and talk.
See, it's a community. Help this guy do his work. It's amazing.
Awesome. Come on up and pick
Yeah,
something.
do you want a shirt or what we got? Okay. What's up, dude?
Hey, so in a few episodes we've seen Dan becomes a man, right? So we've seen from driving stick, which Dan wasn't so great at, to trying to drink tea, which is something that's
A lovely failure.
but it's probably one of the funniest things.
Delicious.
So I'm wondering, since we've seen a couple of these little instances of Dan, but not that many, I'm wondering if you've noticed changes in Dan's man factor.
Have you heard my voice? My bar mitzvah's next week, so.
I love it. The short answer is no, he's still not yet a man. And the long answer is it just got more and more difficult for us to figure out things that we could have him do that
he's never done.
Yeah.
So the answer is I'm freaking a man, dude.
Do you want to mention some of the things we're pitched around?
I know.
So we're thinking about Dan shoots a shotgun. Zombies. Everybody needs to do that at least once in their life.
The
because
zombie
of zombies.
apocalypse may happen at any moment.
You need to know how to handle a shotgun. End of story. And then of course karaoke, which we talked about, which we're still trying to figure out.
Working on it.
Which is good. There were some other ones. What was the other one?
Going to a horse race. I've never gone to a horse race.
Horse race. Bet on the horses, baby.
But if you guys have suggestions,
Send
email
them.
us
Send
or
them.
post them in the
Or
forums.
have connections to a horse racing venue.
Yeah, or can help us out.
shotguns. You own shotguns.
If you
If
own
you own
shotguns,
shotguns,
please
send us an email.
There's some room in the back for you to stand.
Love it.
So yeah, we
So
want
hopefully that
to
answers your question. Dude, nice shirt.
Awesome shirt.
Cool, thanks. I'm local from San Diego. I just want to let you know that I follow you guys on Twitter all the time.
Nice.
Jeff, you mentioned something about meeting up with Dr. Tiki, and maybe you think you are going to get a chance to be on Tiki Bar?
Well, that's a Dr. Kiki question. Done.
All right, cool. Dream come true for me. So thank you for that. Come up and get something good.
Because I actually got a reply for you, and I was like so stoked, and I was like, yeah. So, you know,
Dr. Tiki is first of all, we all love Tiki Bar TV, so that's
Tiki Bar TV, people.
yeah, and he's a great friend of ours. So yeah, it's always awesome when we get to hang out and see him. And I'm sure you saw the picture of us as a boy band.
Yes.
Awesome. Love it.
So, are they kicking us out?
Hello, guys.
Hey.
It's Javier, the seller of souls.
Hey.
Awesome.
So with half the year over, what has disappointed you so far, and what are you looking forward in the next 6 months?
What's disappointed us about?
In movies, TVs, or in any of the...
Disappointed us. What have we talked about recently? I feel like I had a lot of things that I didn't like.
Oh, yeah.
dude, 84.
Isn't it sad?
The more time that goes by, the more I really did not like. I mean, I maybe even actively dislike Indiana Jones 4.
Yeah. So, yeah,
And it sucks that you guys are applauding that, but
I know that actually is.
but I hear you.
I think that was probably the biggest disappointment. God, what am I excited about? I feel like all that stuff that we were like excited about, like Dark Knight and Iron Man.
Spore and Fallout 3 are coming out this year.
Wrath of the Lich King, my friends. Wrath of the Mother Bleeping Lich King. That's definitely World of Warcraft, the new World of Warcraft thing. What are you excited about something?
I'm excited for Australia still.
Yeah.
When Hugh Jackman came out with Wolverine, I was like, just make it Australia, dude.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Dan got lost in Hugh Jackman's eyes.
Yeah. It's hard not to. Man is charisma.
Yeah, cool, dude.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
I got 2 questions.
All
right.
Whatever happened to the book segment? And you guys...
We don't
Yes,
talk about these.
let's answer that.
If only I had the words. If only I read.
I need to read the dictionary.
Yeah.
That's ongoing discussions about the book segment.
By the way, Battle Royale is excellent. The book.
Battle Royale? Yeah. See, that's what's awesome is that our forums kept the book segment going even though we didn't. Yeah. And they all read Battle Royale, and yes, awesome.
Did you guys ever hear back from the guy from Switzerland?
We never got in touch with him.
We don't know who he is.
We've never heard that guy.
That was some
before.
drunk dude from Switzerland.
Yes, from Switzerland, yeah. Dude, talk about a moment. You were like on the street corner in London. We're like, we gotta shoot this rap. And they were like, let's shoot it in front of this thing. And I was like, dude, people are drunk. They're gonna come up. Let's not do it. So we found this like corner, and I was like, all right, at least it's like a little corner. And sure enough.
No, we heard they're like, hey, you guys! What's up?
We are from Switzerland. And we were like,
it would be a dream come true for that guy to contact us at some point.
It would be a dream come true.
And he'd be like, I don't remember any of that. Why am I on your show so often?
You're like, anytime anybody interrupts, it's either you or a hanging cat.
Hey, Chris Weddle, Trafalgar, Indiana.
Awesome.
Hey, I want to compliment you guys first on just how well you condense the show and the content, because any three guys can just get together and shoot the breeze for hours.
As we do.
But you're able to cram so much information.
Well, the show is an hour.
Amount of time. My question is, how much planning goes into it versus how much you try to...
Why is Steve laughing?
Steve, why are you laughing? Plan.
But I also want to know how much you try to like keep your opinions from each other beforehand, so that it's real and it's live and it's.
That's exactly what happens. We see movies together most of the time, and we don't talk about. That's a morose walk to the car.
And if anybody who's not involved in the show comes with us,
I know
it's the worst experience
it's
for
like
them.
torture.
Yeah, you can talk to anybody that actually has seen movies with the three of us at the same time, and we walk out and they're all like, "Hey, let's." Can't talk about it.
Yeah. And we also don't. I look up what the latest movie news is Friday. Jeff looks up what the latest news is. Other than that, what we know the game we're playing, and then the thing that takes the most planning that we never plan properly for is the intro.
Yeah.
And we do that all day Friday. We're figuring
That is the hardest.
Literally, we will shoot from like after if we see a movie at like 11:30, we'll shoot from like 1 to like 11.
Yeah.
And in that time, we've literally spent like 45 minutes shooting the show, and the rest of it is discussing,
arguing about the intro.
What should we do? How does it not fit in the thing that we're trying to create?
God.
Everybody has their own image of what that is. I mean, it's just like this whole big thing, but
it's fun.
It is so much fun because that's the stuff. I mean, it's like we get to see each other every Friday, all day Friday, and we know that. You know what I mean? Like when we go see movies, we get to hang out, and it's rare that you get to have 3 friends that you're gonna see on a regular basis. And it's the same thing with Kevin and the Dignation guys. Like I know I get to see those guys, and they moved to San Francisco. If I wasn't doing Dignation, I may not. I may see them every 6 months at some panel or something. You know what I mean? So it's like a really great. It takes a while, but it's really great.
Yeah. It's it just seems very professional.
Oh, well, thank you. It's not.
We got them fooled.
It worked. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Hey guys, Mark,
What's up, dude?
San Fernando, California. Hello again.
SFV.
Wondering what the next epic board game adventure will be.
Dude, who had fun watching Fireball Island? So awesome.
That's so rewarding.
It's very rewarding because
that $100 was well spent, Dan.
That $100 has been in the back of Dan's car for like 6 months solid.
We love board games.
We're huge board game nuts.
So
and card game, we love Munchkin, and we
there will be more.
Someone sent us board games. We should say thank you to whoever that was. I don't think he's here, but
no, but we should know his name. It's terrible that we don't. But
it's Bill Smith. But yeah,
anyway,
we got board games in the mail. We're gonna do more. We had
you have a suggestion?
I did.
So Spot, you're on it.
That's all right.
That's all right.
We'll say you said Connect Four.
Email.
All right, cool.
Apples to Apples. I played that. That's a good card. That's a card game.
Apples to Apples
is a great drinking game.
It's almost the most genius game ever made. It's the simplest, most perfect game ever made. There really is no rule. There's no rules. It's wonderful.
Okay.
Anyway, so cool. Thanks, dude.
Good work. Pitt. I like Pitt. Not sure what Battle Mountains is, but it sounds awesome.
Hey,
What's up, dude?
Nick from Atlanta. First off, Dan becomes a man. Dan goes speed dating.
Yes.
His girlfriend.
Back to my girlfriend.
His girlfriend might be a little upset.
Don't tell her.
Don't tell her.
Don't tell her.
You know that we put the show out on the internet, right?
It's worth a shot. Okay, you guys grew up with a lot of movies that are like classics now, like Terminator, Halloween, off like the 80s and it's like that. Video generation, like my generation, do you think like movies today or TV shows today, do you think they'll become classics like that? Like
Absolutely, yeah. By default. Because when we were kids and I was watching Goonies, my dad was like, that's not, or like when The Fly came out, he's like, that's not The Fly, you know? Like, he didn't talk like that, but.
I was gonna say.
But yeah, I mean, like, you know, North by Northwest and all that. Yeah.
That's yeah.
Definitely. I mean, look at Avatar, for example.
Yeah.
Avatar is a, you know, if any of us ever have kids, I think we all will cherish the time when we get to introduce Avatar to them.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's current, yeah. I mean, it'll happen. What these guys.
I think Dark Knight and Batman. We grew up with Tim Burton Batman. You guys are growing up with Chris Nolan's Batman.
Yep.
So you didn't like it, but.
No.
Oh no, you loved it.
I didn't like Tim Burton.
Oh, okay. See?
Wow.
There you go.
There you go.
That's that you just answered. That was it. That was the answer.
Let's try to get
Tim Burton was for us.
more people.
Oh, good. All right, good. Let's do it.
Yeah. I'm Michael Silva. This question's actually for Alex.
Cool.
I've actually met you.
You guys should leave.
I've actually met you a few times before this on the set of the screensavers.
Oh, cool. Way back machine.
Yeah. In fact, that was leads up to my question. What was your most memorable moment from
the screensavers from TSS? Well, first, I don't know if you guys know a lot of my backstory. I was a fan of Tech TV for many years, and then got the opportunity to host the Screensavers, which is like their big flagship hour live everyday show. Which was, I mean, just auditioning that first day and walking in and meeting Kevin and Martin and Joshua.
But honestly, wasn't the best moment on that show when you sensed Dan and I watching, and you sensed that we would someday meet?
Especially when I sensed that Dan said he hated me, which is cool. I've let that go. I mean, you know, beyond that, there were so many great things that show did. You know, interviewing Mike Mignola, meeting Stan Lee. I mean, I got to interview Dave Foley. Blew my mind.
My favorite moment was when you put on like beer goggles or something. You're like, I'm touching it.
Right.
See, I remember as a fan. I remember that moment.
That was awesome. Yeah, it was with the guy from Mad Magazine.
Mad Magazine guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Dick DiBartello. Yeah. So yeah, I'd say Dave Foley. Interviewing Dave Foley blew my mind because I grew up watching this guy as like an entertainer.
He's very Dave Foley-ish, actually.
Welcome. And then the world collapsed in some sort of time-space loop.
Grab a shirt, dude.
Thank you very much.
How's it going, guys? My name is Chris.
What's up, dude?
I just recently started watching you guys. Quick question.
Awesome. Thank you.
Love it.
Two of you guys said that you didn't really like The Spirit or Darwin Cook's run on The Spirit. Would you consider giving it another chance by reading his whole all 12-issue run? Because it gets really good at the end. His final issue is absolutely good.
Give it another chance.
Are you offering me the rest? No,
I would.
I didn't actively not like it. I just sort of found it was okay, you know. But yeah, I would totally read the rest.
I mean, because I also don't. I feel like I would feel bad saying that I could make a real judgment on the character of the Spirit by only reading that. You know what I mean? So I definitely would want to try to touch back to it, and that happens every once in a while. What's up, live internet streamies?
Is it?
Well,
I think that we're sort of like breaking our contract by doing that, but hey.
No. It's meta. It's PR.
Cool.
So yeah, so I definitely would.
All right. The guys are in line. Come up here.
Yeah, first off, guys, in line.
There is one. That's all right. I don't know how to do this in an orderly way, but let's just.
Yeah, I'm not
So in video games this week, we are talking about a pretty major sequel that people have been waiting for a long time.
Gears of War 2?
No.
Halo 4?
Sequel to a launch title.
Xbox 360 launch title.
Max Payne 7?
And that is Geometry Wars Evolved 2. When I got my 360 on launch day,
when everybody got their 360,
and I slept on the sidewalk overnight to get it.
Nice.
I came home with Cameo and Perfect Dark. I know,
Yeah.
whammy.
Cameo wasn't bad, it just wasn't good.
I have your Cameo, by the way, in case you're wondering.
Oh, I'm glad that. I mean, I can't sell that back. The 4 cents that I'll get for it. So what I did when I was not playing those games, the game that I was playing the most, and I imagine you guys had the similar experience, was Geometry Wars. And that really was the killer app when the 360 was launched.
Which is crazy to think.
It is crazy to think. Is that a commentary on how good that game was or how bad the launch titles were? Not a conversation we want to get into now.
Sure.
But, so Geometry Wars is the twin stick, old school arcade game with a new school look. And people clamored right away. I remember I would play it before I would play any game and after. It was like my warm up and my warm down from playing any game.
It's awesome.
Cool down, but still, I know what you mean.
Yeah, true. Loved that game, as did a lot of people. But I remember thinking, right when I started, about 5 minutes in, going, boy, it would be awesome if this was multiplayer. Yeah. As did everybody, and that was the clamor. For years, we've been waiting for Geometry Wars 2, and finally, this week, we got it. We had a chance to play the multiplayer modes. Alex, you were a Geometry Wars fan, right?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't get into the sort of Savant-esque
the
mode
like 20
that a lot
million.
Of people got into. Well, dude, it didn't take long. I mean, I was always like, oh yeah, let's see who can get the higher score. Oh, look at me, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden it's like, boop, boop, boop. And I was like, what do you do? And I think that there's like a zone that you get in. So I never got into that like zone. I mean, I have unlocked a few achievements here and there about using this and that.
I think that someone came over and I remember you mentioning that someone.
No,
came
that is true. I mean, not for all my achievements, but that is why my score is like 1 million whatever. Is because Keith, the guy who used to shoot Dignation, was like he did that thing where he'd come over and like $1.5 billion. So I got into it in that respect. That said, this to me was like leaps and bounds. This is like Halo multiplayer was to the Xbox, where it went, whoa, you can do this. All right, a little game changey. And basically, they have a lot of the different modes that Halo multiplayer has, like King of the Hill, the timed competition. The fact that you can do things co-op and versus co-op or versus multiplayer is great. So you can have like, 2 people playing 2 people, or you can have like all for one for all, or you can just be like, my favorite was the co-pilot, where like one person's shooting and one person's steering. Boy, talk about making your mind grape twists. You know what I mean? It's just like, how am I? And then the best part is that in doing so, there's so much shit happening on the screen. You literally forget who you are. Mm-hmm. You're like, hey, what? And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm down in this corner. You know what I mean? I had a blast.
How about you, Dan?
Phenomenal game.
It was a good phenomenon PA you just did.
It's it's like I've given so much props to N+. Because it boils down every game design to just the essentials, what makes it great, and the design, the challenge that this multiplayer has caused, where the zones for that one mode, and there's tons of modes. We haven't had a chance to play all the modes, but there's tons of modes. So there's so much different kind of challenge, and it's the same challenge when you play a big, awesome game with 3D graphics like Half-Life or whatever. But it's the same sort of mental and physical skills that are required. But it's just the challenge, no story, just that game, and it's awesome. It's so frickin' awesome. The game modes with the zones where you're in that.
The zones is really good.
Literally what you have to do when you're not competing with each other, and so you're trying to get the weapons before the other person.
Yeah.
And now it's not just shooting things; it's also collection on the screen.
Yeah. It's a big addition to the game.
And some things you don't want to shoot. You want to go through and rebounds. There's so many different ways in which that you have to outgame the other person.
They really took what Geometry Wars was and added. You know what I mean? Like they added so many different little tweaks, like the power-ups and the blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I was really skeptical going into this game because I felt like it was coming too late. I felt like the whole Geometry Wars thing, there was a crest when it should have been released, and then we're about here, especially post Super Stardust HD, which I've been playing a lot of recently because of the PSN trophies. I remember how really great that game is, and what a step forward it was for the twin sticks thing, and how the graphics were incredible, and the switching of weapons added that game really seemed to take it to the next level.
Super Stardust.
Yeah. And so I was as we heard the announcement of Geometry Wars 2, finally, I was really expecting to be disappointed that it was just going to be more of Geometry Wars. But I think that they've done a fantastic job of making it new, of really reinventing. There are a lot of new enemies that behave in very new, different, interesting ways. Like you said, the collection stuff is not having to just avoid everything you see. That now I need to pick out and identify those just shapes.
Yeah.
Gorgeous graphics again. We watched it on Steve's big, beautiful screen, and it's so colorful and amazing. It's almost hard to follow, especially when you get to the co-op stuff or the multiplayer stuff, when there's like you said, so much happening on the screen.
But not impossible to follow.
No.
Like, doesn't that need to be said? Because I feel like people hear that and go, "Oh, well, Geometry Wars is crazy. I could never play it because it's crazy." But and you think adding multiplayer would just make it unplayable, but it's not. You're still able to play the game.
Of course. And I think it was a no-brainer. Like I said, I think everybody who played it like me back in the day instantly thought, God, if I had 2 ships, it would be so much fun. And it would have been easy to just do that.
Right.
But the idea of how the breadth of different things they allow you to do in multiplayer, the fact that you can do 4 people, the fact that you can mix and match, do teams, do, like you said, the shooter or the
co-pilot, is that what they call it? Or something?
It is really a much more robust version of the game, and I think well worth $10.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
One of the games that we saw at Comic-Con, but we saw after we taped our live show, so we didn't have a chance to talk about it, is a game that I know all of us, or at least Alex and I, have been so stoked on because Ghostbusters is one of our favorite movies of all time.
Hell yeah, baby.
It's mine too. Just because I can't quote every line from the movie
that
doesn't make it any less my favorite movie.
It puts it down a little bit.
I don't know. Dan hates Ghostbusters. I think that's what we learned.
I wasn't allowed to see it when I was a kid, so I couldn't. Yeah. But anyway, I watched it when I was older and I loved it. Okay.
Yeah, it is. It's probably my favorite comedy ever. And so when we talked on the show before about the announcement of the Ghostbusters game and how it was really going to be treated as Ghostbusters 3, the original voice cast is back and had recorded their lines. I got some hands-on time. I don't remember if you guys got hands-on time or not.
Not really,
but
we
look at it.
We were watching people play it and kind of got the vibe of it.
So what did you think of what we actually got to see it in motion?
I'd love to hear more from you because all I can say is that it looked great. And it looked like my questions to you are what I saw them using the
Proton Pack.
Proton Pack, see? I saw them using the Proton Pack, and it was a cool mechanic that it seemed like you didn't want to shoot everything in the room, unlike the games like Blacks, for instance. You know what I mean? You wanted to avoid damage. Because it's like just like it is in the movie. It's like you would have damaged the facility. So
no, I think actually it's the opposite of that. It gives a running tally of how much damage you've done to the environment, and it's a positive thing.
Oh, it's a positive thing? I thought it was going to be
I don't know for sure
from the amount of money you got paid for capturing the ghost.
That's entirely possible.
Should be what
we
we're
had this
talking
small little vertical slice of the game that we had to see, so I don't know how that fits in, but it seemed to me like it was like it's showing you how much money you're.
I thought someone said okay.
It could very well be.
I think I said the opposite because I was like, oh look, they're tallying up your damage.
So I'm just
clearly that can't be a.
I got all Brechted.
Yeah.
I got Brechted. So what I want to know is, it's not shooting things, right? It's like grabbing them and
you have
putting them
two
in.
versions of your proton pack. You can switch over from the blaster to the, I can't remember what they call it, but like the capturer, basically.
Right,
The thing that
Lasso, maybe?
Well, maybe. I don't think it was that. But the thing in the movie where they shoot it and it wrestles the ghost in the air.
It streams.
And that mechanic in the game is exactly how you would want. You shoot it, and then you literally do have to wrestle it with the sticks, and there's a trigger button that slams, so you can, and the guy will like slam with his shooter, and it'll, and so you have to throw down the trap. It'll open and a beam of light will come out just like the movie, and you get the guy near it and it turns into that V of white light, and if he gets out of it, it goes back in, and you have to wrestle him in, and then it sucks him down in. It's really exactly what you would want.
So is it like Shadow of Colossus in that you're like hunting down the one ghost in the place and it's a struggle? And
No, that's the thing that is a little disappointing to me, is that you do have that other version of the thing that is just a shooter.
Yeah.
And I actually wish they had figured out a way to make the moment-to-moment game fun without resorting to it just being a shooter.
Right.
Did you have any thoughts that? of what you saw?
Yeah, I mean, because that's basically what it ended up being, which was like, the whole thing of just having the damage. Because when we were watching the guy play, he was just playing with the damage stuff and was just shooting the ghosts. And I was like, well, but that's not what they do. You know what I mean?
They didn't really. I never saw them shooting ghosts, but there would be like ghost effects that you would shoot. Like the books would come off the shelf and fly like they do in the movie, and you'd kill those things. But then when a ghost came, like that was more like I wouldn't even say mini boss, but like a more significant bad guy, you would have to capture that. But
yeah, I just saw that the lady, a ghost popped up and he shot it and it went away, and I was like, all right. I mean, that's not what ghost. I mean, theoretically, that ghost was busted. So technically, that was a correct usage of the Ghostbusters.
Yes,
but
if we're parsing.
But that's not how I sort of envisioned it, and I didn't get to see the capture thing. But that's the mechanic that was very satisfying. That said, this game to me doesn't have to be perfect in that way.
Right.
I remember getting a lot of enjoyment of one of the most difficult games I've ever played in my life, Ghostbusters for the PC, where I was going upstairs for some reason. I mean, it was like,
where do these go?
And
They go up?
driving, like the weird like side double dragon like driving sequence.
That falls in one of those categories for me of games that there was no instruction manual,
Yeah.
and I never knew how. Me and my friend always wanted to play it, and we put it in, and we'd be like, now what do we do? We always try to figure out, and then we'd be like, oh my god, I think I figured out how to play, and we put it back in, and we go, no, that doesn't work either.
I had that experience with the first Resident Evil. All my buddies rented it when we were in college, and we didn't have the instruction manual. And we were just like, run from the zombie! Anyway.
So to me, I'm obviously going to buy this game. There's no way I'm not buying.
Well, what did you think? It looked pretty good.
It looked pretty good,
I mean,
but
graphically.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And there's no HUD. It's all kind of
that's
communicated to you using the proton pack that you see on the back of the guy. I thought that was
Dead
cool.
Space.
Yeah, it's like
yeah.
I mean, that's
it's awesome.
No HUD to me nowadays is like that's the thing.
Let me ask you this question. The one worry I had watching it was that the story was going to be cheesy and lame, and we were going to be sad that the original voice actors were saying these lines. Is that going to be?
No.
I thought Harold Ramis was involved.
They're involved, but there's a few lines of when they were said, "Oh, that's the first ghost we ever busted," and it's like, please don't be bad.
I was hoping that was all temp.
I hope it's temp too, but. So, I mean, would that be a ruiner for you, or do you think?
Well, it wouldn't ruin the game. I'd just be like, blah, blah, I'm doing the thing now. You know what I mean? Like,
I know it wouldn't be a ruiner for you because you hate Ghostbusters.
Ha!
No, because I don't remember the lines.
I love it. Yeah, he'll be like, I think this is how bad the
I'm
lines
afraid
were.
of no ghosts. I remember that.
Okay.
All right.
Keymaster, Gatekeeper, Rick Moranis.
Okay, before we announce the winner of the t-shirt contest, we do want to thank our sponsors, one of them being Squarespace. If you haven't checked out Squarespace, you must check out Squarespace.
It's so cool.
It is unbelievable. So basically, they just launched their version 5 of the WYSIWYG editor. WYSIWYG, of course, what you see is what you get. Editor, which enables you to customize your website ad infinitum. It's amazing. Not only that, but they redid my website, alexalbrecht.com. It's overblowing. Not only that, there's a video of them compressed, like a time-lapse video of how long it took them to do it. Dude, this is the easiest thing I've ever seen.
Dude, you know, clearly they're a sponsor of our show.
Yes.
And so we have to talk about them.
But
the idea of this is so neat that I'm like, you know, it's one of those ones where I'm so glad that we get to talk about it because I wouldn't have known about it if
we didn't. Last week you talked about it, but I hadn't seen it yet, and we just took a peek, and it does look awesome.
Sickness. Not only that, I'm going to show you the thing they did with Scope. They knocked off. So they do this thing where they like, I'd say knock off, but basically they like take somebody's blog or take somebody's site and then show how quickly you can create that exact site. Because if you think about how much time it takes to get in there and do an actual website, design it well, it's ridiculous. But not only that, next week they're going to design one of your guys' websites. But not only that, if you put in the promo code TRS when you sign up for a Squarespace account, which, by the way, you get a 14-day free trial, so go check it out. Who cares? Try it. It doesn't matter. You will get 10% off the life of your website.
Amazing.
I mean, we've put out some deals.
Forever, ever?
Forever, ever. We've done some deals here, and most of the time we're like, wow, that's a pretty good deal. This is a ridiculously good deal. I mean, 10%, and you can have your website for as long as the web exists. I mean, it's...
And after you've designed your website with Squarespace, you're gonna need to register the domain.
This is all true.
We have like.
I want to get the domain before.
Well,
decide.
Maybe.
Just I'm helping you.
Potato, potato. But the only place to really go to do that is GoDaddy.com. Our old friends GoDaddy, who are the leaders in the domain name registering business. Sure. You can get your domain as low as $1.99. You can get software that makes it easy. I mean, it's easy for you to design it with Squaresoft, but it's easy to host it. You have all these kind of different plans. What did I say?
Squaresoft. The makers of
Squaresoft.
Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
When you're doing your Final Fantasy VII Remake fan site.
You could be a Square software site powered by Squarespace.
Yes. Anyway, so GoDaddy.com is where you go. You'd use our promo code there also, and that gives you 10% off your order for the lifetime of that order, which would be that moment.
That moment. Amazing.
Yeah.
And that's TRS1.
TRS1 is our, exactly.
Also, we are repping good old Netflix. Netflix.com is, of course, online renting. They have over 75,000 titles, all the Blu-ray titles. I think The Mummy is being released on Blu-ray. I highly recommend, if you were disappointed in Indiana Jones and you want to see The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, but heard our review and are like, maybe not, check out the first Mummy. It's badass. Also, of course, Brick. If you have never seen Brick, and especially if you like film noir, oh my lord. Brick is amazing. So
you know what I would also say? If you like Mark Ruffalo, there's a movie called Safe Men that not enough people have seen that I cherish.
Yeah.
So I forgot about that movie. There you go.
Amazing
Two
movie.
things on my Netflix queue.
They have 40 shipment centers. So when you have your movie at the top of your queue, you're going to get it basically the next day. Plans start as low as $4.99. You can get a 2-week free trial if you go to www.netflix.com/TRS.
The wwws are important. People, a while back we decided to throw a gauntlet into the hearts and minds of our fans. And that gauntlet, written on the side, in plate, maybe it was embossed, I don't know, said, "Sirs, design us a shirt." And Madam,
we got
design us a shirt.
Amazing entries.
So many amazing entries.
I hope people have been to TotallyRadShow.com and seen such awesome creativity.
Amazing shirts.
And they're going to still be there. I mean, we're going to announce the winner in a second, but all the entries are still going to be on the website for a little while. So please peruse. There's some really cool stuff. I mean, it was hard for us to pick a winner. Thankfully, we didn't have to.
Well, that's why we didn't, because we opened it up to you guys and said, what shirts do you guys want to see? What shirts do you want to be wearing around, proudly displaying your fandom of the Totally Rad Show? And for us being able to proudly wear around saying, this is something we created.
Or we didn't create, our fans created. Yeah.
This is the thing that we convinced somebody to create for us, and it's the thing. So the winner of the first ever Totally Rad Show Design Your Own T-shirt contest is shirt number 16 by Brad Dial.
Ta-da! So here's what we wish we could do. What we wish we could do is we wish we could go this shirt.
Right.
But
to make it,
we haven't made it yet.
Yeah.
That was the plan originally, was to just hold it up, but it's going to take a little bit of time.
It'll take a little bit. It's like a little bit, but that's
congratulations, Brad Dial. Thank you so very much.
Great work. Great work. And great work to everybody.
Yeah.
I wish we had the capability of creating all of these shirts, which we do not.
Brava.
So anyway, if you would like to get a copy of this shirt, and by a copy I mean a shirt, you can also check out all the other merchandise that we have available, jinx.com/TRS. And as soon as we have it up, we will let you know. I'm literally going to be emailing this template over to Sean from Jinx as soon as we are done shooting.
Cool.
ASAP.
And if you want to send us in a background like our buddy Matthew Sherman did, you would send it to fans@totallyradshow.com. That's also where you would send any emails, comments, questions. That's the email address.
Yeah.
And totallyradshow.com is our website. You can go there. You can download this background.
Mm-hmm.
You can get a template for how to submit a background.
And Jeff Virgin, our web designer, actually came and shot a ton of behind the scenes shots from the live show at Comic-Con. So head over to totallyradshow.com, click on gallery, and you can check out almost 1,000 pictures. I mean, it's crazy amounts.
Comprehensive.
Also over on that website is the movie we're going to review ahead of time, but I'm just going to tell you right now that it's possibly take the throne. Possibly the movie that will take the throne of the funniest movie of the summer, Pineapple Express.
Correct.
Oh yeah.
Also, all of our social networking, social
whatever.
MySpace, whatever.
I'm
you
done
know how to
plugging
do it.
MySpace.
Catalina Wine
Follow
Mixer.
us. This is fucking Catalina Wine Mixer. Follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/Alex Albrecht.
Twitter.com/Jeff Canada.
Twitter.com/Danny TRS. Twitter.com/Steve.
Somehow
TRS.
I have fallen behind Dan. I think it's because I pimped him so heavily.
Yeah, stop pimping him.
So
Follow me
Start
for all
pimping
the movie updates and the things about movies. Follow Jeff for whenever we do things.
And guys,
he's the guy who's like minute by minute,
How
who's
far
like,
behind me are you guys?
Oh, stop.
and don't worry about following this guy because you already are following him.
Yeah, because you already know. I love it. All right, well, thank you very much for tuning in. That is it for this week's edition of The Totally Rad Show. I'm Alex Albrecht.
I'm Jeff Canada.
I'm Dan Trachtenberg.
Until next time, stay classy.
So many times.
What are you doing?
If I could, I would.
Ball.
Sorry, he yelled a ball.
What do you want me to
I did
yell?
not expect it.
Okay, one more time.
Whoa! Oh, fizzy lifting drink. What am I lying? Like
72. 72, 72, yeah.
Oh, outtakes real. Here we go.
This is turn break song. All right, here we go.